loves, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Joy, and guys, we have so much stuff to go over. So the first thing is the Secret Service is admitting to lying about what they told us. Well, you know, they won't actually take any accountability for it, but now they're saying that the SWAT team was never actually in the building. So if you guys remember, we have the kid who was on that building and he shot President Trump, correct? They've been saying, oh, the SWAT team was inside that building. They couldn't go on the top of the roof because if you remember, they said, it's just too slopey for us to overcome, even though the snipers were on an even slopier roof. Now they've come out and said, they weren't in that building at all. Meaning that building wasn't secured at all. And apparently, we have another shooter. So the other piece of news that we'll get into is that it looks like now local police are saying, well, we shot the kid too. Guys, it just gets dumber and dumber and crazier. And I'm just wondering, when is Kim Cheadle, the head of the Secret Service, when is she fired? All right, guys, if you like content like this, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, guys, seriously, follow along with me as we do this. Let me know if there are things that you're seeing or hearing that I'm not, and sound off in the comments. Tell me your thoughts. Leave me a like. Everything helps, and let's dive in. So, guys, this first one is going to be from CNBC. So this one is about the SWAT team, which honestly is my favorite, just because they're so incompetent, it's entertaining to me. So here we go. It says, Trump shooting. Secret Service changes story on local SWAT team positions. Then it says, a U.S. Secret Service official said a Pennsylvania police SWAT team was in another building than the one whose roof was used Saturday by Thomas Crooks to shoot at the former President Donald Trump. And this new account contradicts a prior claim by the Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle that Crooks was on top of the building containing the SWAT team near Trump's campaign rally in Butler. So let's go ahead and just look at all the details. A U.S. Secret Service official on Wednesday said that the local Pennsylvania police SWAT team was actually in another building than the one whose roof was used by a would-be assassin to shoot a former President Donald Trump on Saturday. Here's a question. How do you get that information so wrong? Is it really that hard to gather the information and tell us the information correctly? So far, it's been a trickle, and I think that's to not make people too mad, and now we're changing the story, and I don't understand it. I think they're changing the story because they got so much crap for the fact that they said, oh, we couldn't be on top of that building. It was too slopey, because if somebody was on top of it, then Thomas wouldn't have been able to get up there and do what he did. And then they said, well, we were inside the building. And people said, so you're that incompetent? You couldn't secure the building, even being inside of it? And now no one is there? How does this make them look any better? Because at this point, I feel like everything they do is about CYA covering their butts and trying to look better to the American people. But at this point, we think it's a joke. We think they're a joke. So it says, the Secret Service official's new account contradicts a prior claim by Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle. Oh, you mean Kimberly lied? Kimberly lied? Like she lied about the slopey roof? No, not Kimberly Cheadle. That the 20-year-old gunman Thomas Crooks was on top of the building containing the SWAT team near Trump's campaign rally in the town of Butler. Also Wednesday, a source familiar with the shooting probe told NBC that local police saw Crooks with a rangefinder, which is used to measure shooting distances. So let's read that again. A source familiar with the shooting probe told NBC local police saw Crooks with a rangefinder, which is used to measure shooting distances, and that they had informed the Secret Service they were looking for Crooks with that device before Trump took the stage with the rally. Now, and I hope they come out with evidence. What we've heard is that the police said, we actually did inform Secret Service. We told them everything and even called for backup. Secret Service was quiet. And I'm guessing the investigation, they haven't gotten far enough to figure out why Secret Service was quiet, or were the police lying? I'm more inclined to believe at this point the police, even though the whole thing was a blundering BS operation, I bet they're better trained than the Secret Service, unfortunately. I could be wrong in that, but watching how badly the Secret Service messed up, I mean, I'm hoping the police come out with that evidence and say, look, we did our part, Secret Service dropped the ball. And maybe not, maybe it's everybody's at fault. I don't know. So it says, the new disclosures come a day after news that the Secret Service, before Saturday's shooting, boosted security for Trump when it was told of a plot to end him by Iran's government. That's another thing. So this came out that I guess the Iranian government real mad at Trump because Trump had taken out one of their people, and they knew there was a plot for people to go after him, which means there should have been even more heightened security. But as we've been told, Trump's team requested that from the Secret Service, specifically our good friend Kim Cheadle, and was denied on repeat. On top of the January 6th panel now trying to say a felon cannot have Secret Service. I have a whole theory on what's going on we'll go over after this because this just absolutely drives me nuts. So it says, the disclosures are certain to increase already sharp questions about whether the Secret Service acted appropriately in arranging security for the rally, which ended when Crooks fatally shot one attendee and wounded two others as he narrowly missed killing the Republican presidential nominee, Trump. The unnamed Secret Service official told NBC News on Wednesday that the building containing the local SWAT team was not in the building that Crooks climbed, and instead was in another building in the same business complex. That official said the building was connected to the one that Crooks had used, but could not say which building it was. In contrast, Cheadle told ABC News in an interview earlier this week, there were local police in that building. There was local police in the area that were responsible for the outer perimeter of the building. So Kimberly Cheadle, let's discuss. You were responsible. The Secret Service is the fact that you guys relied so heavily on police to do your job, and this is not me knocking the police. This is me knocking Kimberly Cheadle and the Secret Service. You know what? Can I even be mad at the Secret Service? This is Kimberly Cheadle deciding that we need more 5'2" midgets in the Secret Service to do that job. Hey guys, I'm curious. Why don't we put midgets in the NBA? Is it because they are discriminatory towards short people? Or is it because common sense says that the taller the people, the better chance they have at making a shot? You want more athletically built people. You want your Secret Service to be able to take Trump to the ground and just get him in a car. Those 5'2" women not only couldn't do it, couldn't find their holsters, their guns, were screaming, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And one was hiding behind Trump. I'm not knocking women. Look, if you are more of a butch or masculine 6'5" woman who's got a great track record behind her of stuff, go for it. Go for it. Be in the Secret Service. Why are these small women, small, somewhat looking out of shape women? I'm not here to shame women. I'm saying that certain jobs have certain requirements. I'm 5'2". I don't want a 5'2" woman guarding me. I don't want me guarding me. I would be a disaster. Not all women are like that, but these women were awful. So let's focus on making everything diverse. Let's focus on putting people in positions that they shouldn't be in and are unnatural to their minds, their emotions, and their physiologies. If you're a female that can do it, fantastic. It doesn't seem like those females could. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying all women, but also most women don't want that position. And why can't you recruit better people? Maybe you guys aren't paying anybody well. Maybe people are seeing, maybe the men you put in there that are good are like, oh, this is disaster waiting to happen, and they GTFO? Just a thought. In contrast, Cheadle told ABC News in an interview earlier this week, there were local police in the building. There were local police in the area that were responsible for the outer perimeter. I just love that she dares put the responsibility on the police. She dares use the word responsible for other people. Amazing. Well, you know, I guess the police would have to be responsible if you're so incompetent you can't figure out a slopey roof. Cheadle also said that the building that Crooks used as his shooting perch in particular has a sloped roof, and it's that sloped roof gets you every time. Remember Home Alone? Kevin McAllister kept getting him with that sloped roof. They really do. And I know I said this in another video, and I don't mean to harp on this point. They seem like the incompetent criminals from Home Alone. But even those guys were more intelligent because Kevin actually set somewhat intelligent booby traps. This was just a kid. And guys, he was there for 3 hours. Thomas was there for 3 hours. When he went through metal detectors, they had all his stuff. They knew what he had. They put him on a list. They knew 3 hours to prevent this. And so, there's a safety factor that be considered there with the sloping roof. That we want to put somebody up on a sloped roof, Cheadle said. And so, the decision was made to secure the building from the inside. Well, apparently that decision wasn't made at all because from what we're hearing, nobody was in there. Did you hear I did a Biden? I got real quiet and creepy for no reason, but at least mine had dramatic effect. It's because I'm mocking her. I'm not just saying it just because. Did you like that, Mamba? Anyway, here we go. Cheadle said that the local police were assigned to secure the area, which included multiple buildings just outside of the perimeter and set up by the Secret Service. But you know what the police weren't responsible for? Why the Secret Service never responded back when they said, hey, here's the guy. Hey, we need help. Hey, we need backup. The police are saying they sent that in, and I'm inclined to believe the police until we hear otherwise. Until we have other evidence, I believe the police in that. And it says in a statement later Wednesday, the Secret Service spokesperson Anthony, I'm going to mess this up, Guglielmi, Anthony G, told NBC News the director's reference was to the AGR Glass building, which is a large manufacturing complex made up of interconnected dwellings. Translation, we lied. We lied. Just like the slopey and the slopey roof lie. House Speaker Mike Johnson on Wednesday called for Cheadle's resignation, saying her conduct has been inexcusable. Yes, it has, and pointed to her rationalizing not putting snipers on the roof because there was a slant. Is she that stupid? Is she that inept at her job? House Speaker Mike Johnson says he wants her out. Also Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee issued a subpoena for Cheadle for her previously planned appearance before the panel next Monday for a hearing on the assassination attempt. Oh, I'm going to be all over this, guys. Representative James Comer of Kentucky, Republican, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, in a letter to Cheadle. I'm so tired of these. I'm so tired of these strongly worded letters that do nothing because our people just don't have any cojones. Wrote that the subpoena was necessary because the Department of Homeland Security and the Secret Service have failed to provide assurances regarding your appearance. Ooh. So they have to subpoena her because homegirl's like, I'm too good for this. So they're having a hearing and they had to subpoena her because she basically let them know I may not come. Kimberly Cheadle thinks that she shouldn't have to answer for any of this, that when there's a hearing, she shouldn't have to show up because F us. Just her sitting there with that smug look on her face and that arrogance and that attitude. I love it. Okay, the next one, guys, that I think is interesting, which I'll follow up with because I am very curious about this. This is from the New York Times. And I have some theories on this. Trump shooting live updates. Local police fired on gunman, officials says. New details emerged Wednesday about the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump, as a county official revealed that at least one local police officer had fired on the would-be assassin as shots erupted at a campaign rally. But it was uncertain if the local officer had hit the gunman, who was killed by Secret Service snipers, the agency has said. If the Secret Service killed him, then how do they know if he was hit by local police? The revelation came in a New York Times interview with the official Richard Goldinger, the district attorney of Butler County, Pennsylvania. It added another detail in the timeline of the assassination attempt, as the Secret Service faces intense scrutiny over the security precautions at the former president campaign event on Saturday in western Pennsylvania. It remained unclear how much time lapsed between when the local officer, whom Mr. Goldinger described as a sniper, though another law enforcement official said was an officer on the ground fired at the would-be assassin, and when Secret Service agents killed the shooter who rained gunfire on Mr. Trump and spectators from the roof of a warehouse building in the same complex where local police snipers were stationed. Leaders of the FBI and Secret Service will brief members of Congress on Wednesday about the shooting and the investigation of the gunman, and the Office of Homeland Security Department's Inspector General said it had opened its own investigation of the Secret Service. The announcement came a day after the agency and local police agencies gave contradicting accounts about security at the event in Butler, PA. And it says, here's what else to know. The Secret Service fallout. The director of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, said that she took responsibility for the events but did not plan to resign. Republicans have called her to testify in Congress next week about what happened on Saturday, including when local police told agents before Mr. Trump began speaking that they were investigating crowd reports of a suspicious person. Why don't we have that info yet? Why don't we have the info of why the Secret Service never responded to local police? Either local police are lying or Secret Service is covering up. And I believe Secret Service is covering up at this point. Conflicting accounts. While the gunman was scaling the roof of a warehouse less than 500 feet from Mr. Trump, about 147 feet, some people are saying 100 feet, 3 local law enforcement snipers were inside the same complex of buildings. The director of the Secret Service said on Tuesday that the local forces were in a warehouse that the sniper fired from, but a local law enforcement official contradicted that, telling the New York Times that the officers were in an adjacent building. The discrepancy is just one unsettled element in an effort to determine how security broke down. Thank God for local police calling them out. Thank God. I'm happy the local police were there, because at least it seems like the local police tried to do their job in some capacity. The hunt for a motive. We're going to get into this. Technicians at the FBI's lab in Quantico, Virginia, continue sifting through the gunman's texts, emails, and other data, the Bureau said, but they have not yet revealed whether these clues have offered any clear evidence of why the gunman, who had no known, strongly held political beliefs, targeted the Trump rally. I've got some ideas on this I want to run by you guys. So, first of all, who do you believe in this? Do you believe the Secret Service or local police? Look, I'm not saying local police are perfect. I'm not saying they did everything perfectly. But it sounds like the Secret Service just relied on local police to do their job, and the police did their best, and the Secret Service just didn't care. I'm going to be so interested to see what evidence comes out. But I do want to talk about a motive. If you saw my video earlier, go check it out. It's come out that the gunman's father, so Thomas Crooks' father, actually called police on him that day. Apparently, that day he gave his son the rifle to go to a shooting range. The son didn't come home. He called the police. I'm calling sus. I'm calling BS. And what I mean by that is I think there's more to that. Typically, a missing person, unless it's an Amber Alert situation, you got to be missing like 48 hours. Why call the police if you had no idea that he was like this? Why call the police on your kid for not showing up a couple hours later? When it comes to the Secret Service, right? When it comes to the police, this is what I've been saying, because everybody's black and white. It's either a conspiracy and everybody was in on it, or gross incompetence. I'm saying both. I'm saying I think the conspiracy was they did everything they could to rile up the public and put Trump in the most vulnerable position, considering they had tried that year to get all of his Secret Service revoked. And when he asked for more and better Secret Service, they denied him repeatedly. I'm wondering if it's a situation where they said, let's make this as grossly incompetent as possible so that something can happen. And that might be the conspiracy. But I have one on Thomas. People can't figure out, they keep trying to find the motive of what side of politics was he on. What if it's neither? We know he went to Home Depot, like I think it was that day or the day before, got a bunch of stuff. Everything seemed to be thrown together last second. He didn't really have a whole lot of friends. Here's what I'm thinking. Another thing that came out is apparently classmates have said that he had done, I guess in a history class, he did a project on the JFK shooting and was very passionate about it, went into detail about how he was shot, the angles of the bullets, and all of this stuff. We know he was somebody who was a marksman, or I don't know if that's the term for it, but he did a lot of shooting. What if this wasn't politically motivated? What if this was just attention motivated? What if he saw how much attention and how it went down in history about the guy who tried to shoot JFK, and he just happened to see that Trump is going to be near the area and this is his shot? And maybe he just kind of put this all together last minute. Now, I think we could argue, if that's the case, Trump is the best person, since Trump is such a divisive person, as they like to say, and there's been so much hateful rhetoric surrounding him, it would have been the best way if he wanted to get attention for something that he could get attention that he was wanting and craving and go down in history. I'm wondering if that's why they can't find a motive, because maybe the motive is simply that he wanted to get an accolade, and at least a portion of the public would look at him as a hero. I will say this, thank God the people on the left are so incompetent. They are so incompetent that we had one person, I don't know if he's a lefty, but let's just say we had one person who tried this. He had every opportunity to do it because of all the gross incompetence. And you are so stupid and so incompetent that you just couldn't get those. You fired multiple shots and couldn't get those shots right. There was a funny video I saw of this lefty, and I really liked it. I thought it was funny. I liked the guy. He was funny. He was like, oh my God, are you kidding? We're never going to go to war. We're never going to be drafted. Ew. And he was some gay kid. He's like, can you imagine like us being drafted? No, we're too busy. We're over this. We have things to do. Like, ew, how cliche. Like, that would be so gross. How petty. I've got to live my life and go to work and be in social media. No, I would never be in a war. And I laugh because I'm like, you know what? That's not only a funny take, it's actually probably a lot of how the left sees things. So the left wants to be violent, but they don't actually have the wherewithal or the skills or the talent to go and enact all the things they talk about, because a lot of it just comes from lazy raging and not actually building too many skills in yourself other than to just justify all your lazy raging. So in that, good job, guys. Good job on your incompetence. I don't know. What do you think about all this? What do you think about my assessment of all of this? Did you see something I didn't? Tell me your thoughts. Sound off in the comments. If you like this video, make sure and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that's how you know when I upload. And also, guys, leave a comment. That's a personal favor to me, because everything helps me grow the channel and get these messages out. And remember, seeing the dark forces freak out this much and go to this extreme means the light is winning and good things are right on the horizon. Never forget that. We're going to create an amazing world no matter what people say or do. At least we're going to on this channel. All right, guys, I love y'all. Till the next video, I'm giving everybody hugs, kisses, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye.